Right, I'm just going to show you how to use this bit of kit. It's just to change this rubberised slider just here and the Knorr Bremse calipers. I've just cracked this bolt off like and got the metal collar off. I'm just going to do this now. The slider's not C-solid, but it's basically part of the service side of it. The other side's been done, so I'm doing this side as a matter of course. Usually when you take them out, you see that you take them out, you see that they're all gunked up and seized on. First things first, we've got to get in down there, put the nut on this shaft and assemble the kit up. Probably the best way to do that would be actually have no weight on it to begin with. Anything to hold the nut. It's not that big a problem to get in there. Push it over. Right, you just wind that on, so you've got basically a full nut there. Just let's see if we get that to jam over a bit better. You have to lift this up like to hold it up out of the way, and then you can get down there. This has got to sit snugly in this collar part just here. What this kit will do, we'll remove it, remove the guide, remove the bush, refit the bush, do it left-handed. I've had these where they're right C-solid, and this bit of kit, as long as you put a lot of grease on this bearing, on the threads, it'll hold out, it'll pull it out. Out of the way. Now the next one, that sits inside the bush, inside there.
Does it go a particular way?
No, that just slots straight in. It's pretty. It's quite self-explanatory. A lot of telling people how to do this job, and they've only been doing it years. But not on the vehicle, they haven't. They haven't been doing it like this. I mainly designed this to suit for the DAFs. We had a lot of DAFs on our fleet. We've moved away from the DAFs now, and well, yeah, we do it on Mercs, Ivecos, pretty much most. I haven't tried it on trailers and stuff. It's got a Knorr Bremse caliper. Can't see why not, it won't work. This goes quite tight to begin with. You're pulling it out like you've got the alloy collar, and you're pulling out the bush at the well at the same time. You want to wind it until it goes right jammed in there, because then you've got to get it out of there. I made it all as short as possible for access, really. A lot of times you can do it on the rears, you can do it on the front. It's all down to the suspension setup and what's in the way. Middle axles, a lot of times you've got steering joints are all in the way and it won't work. that just sits nicely in there. You see how he's done it, and that just enough. When you're pulling out the pin, you just use the nut. I won't bother trying to pull out the whole lot out with that and the pin, because it might put a bit too much pressure on the threads. There's your old bush. By the time it cleans this as well, it's quite clean in here. As long as we haven't got anything down the ridge side of it, that's going to affect it when it goes back in. That feels nice and clean in there. Right. Get me a new one.
That's the grease that's supplied with the kit.
Yeah. That's a guide, and it goes in like this. What that does, you push that partially in there, that goes onto there, bit of a squeeze, and as you can see, it's all sitting all nice and flush. Then you push that up there, and it locks that onto that, and it keeps this all square as it's going into the actual caliper, which as you'd well know, like, it's quite important. Sit in there like that. You don't need that washer on there anymore now. Get it on there. Now what we've got to do, we've got to pull it in. We've got this here. This ridge here locates on the inside of the caliper in here, on this ridge. Can you see it in there? Yeah, there's a bit of a ridge in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that there will sit in there, and it's also there. It's raised because these bushes don't sit flush; they sink in a bit. So obviously, if it's sat flush, it won't work. First thing first, we get it in. Can you see how it's sitting in there with the step? I'll continue with that anyway. Right. These don't just fall in, you want some restriction on it as it's going in. Yeah, and there is a talk between the two. It's a lower end and the upper end, which combination happens. I made this about 8-10 years ago, the design of it. And then it got to this. After about 5 years of attempting to develop it and all sorts. Well, hopefully that's you're good at seeing it now. Then this is quite a crucial part. The laser tools, I think they've actually introduced this. I couldn't guarantee it, but this is the prototype part of it. Now you've got to get this rubber guide, the rubber pin in, and as you will all know, you can't get it past that rubber. Or you probably can, like, in multiple ways, but, or push it from the inside, but you've got to take it off the carrier. And here's the way, it took me a few years to work this one out. You pull the guide up to that point, that there goes in, round the rubber, it opens the rubber collar up. You make sure that if that falls out, then you're going to have to take the bush back out. So you want to do it in a nice flowy situ. pretty much. Pretty much it. What goes in there? We'll have a last check, have a look. That's all sitting nice down there, as you can see. It sits there and there's the bushes there. Now all I've got to do is pull my lever out. That locates in. Top the Allen key up. Collar on it. Stuff. They're my basic instructions really for the chaps in the workshop. What it's about.
What are you doing there?
I'm putting this collar back in how it was. Okay, Phil?
Okay. All done?
I think that's all done. So this is the kit, this is what I made. And sold through Laser Tools. And the number's 7105. If you want to ask, contact them, or you want to send me any questions, yeah, do your best. Okay, right, thank you.